So on Sunday mornings, my little boys love to have crepes. And I make them gluten-free because of my 4-year-old. This is just a mix of 3 different kinds of gluten-free flour and a tiny bit of something called xanthan gum that makes the crepe hold together when it's gluten-free. But you can make these crepes so easily with just plain flour and maybe a little bit of wheat bran if you like that, to add a bit of fiber. It's pretty easy. You just crack some eggs. I'll use 3 of them for the gluten-free crepes, but for the other ones you can do it with less. And of course it depends how many children you're trying to feed. Some milk and some vanilla. And then you just take a little hand whisk like this and mix it up. Now I'm going to turn my stove on, and I have a flat pan here called a crepe pan, and I'm just going to get that nice and warm. And basically you just want to keep adding this until you get the consistency of kind of liquidy, runny honey, and I'll show you when we get there. Okay, so that's the consistency. It looks a bit runny. It's definitely not as thick as pancake mixture, but basically you're going to see why it needs to be runny when we start to make our crepes. So I'm just putting a little bit of butter on the pan, and I'm going to let that melt. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of crepe batter onto my pan. They fight over who gets the first crepe. Then we just want to wait until we start to see the edges getting brown, and we're going to flip it over. I've got my Nutella ready. I put a little bit of Nutella. I have a German grandmother, and she used to give us a small amount of Nutella on rye bread. And that taste, for me, even the smell of this is like the smell of my childhood years.